Hey folks, welcome to Progressive Noise Home Recording 101. I'm going to take you on my journey of home recording, right from how I prepare my room for recording, right through to putting my song on the market, and so that entire journey. And hopefully you'll be able to pick up some points that are useful to you. I hope you're enjoying my other YouTube channels as well, Long Distance Traveler Music, where all your favorite guitar players are coming in and basically doing reviews of their own guitars and talking about what albums they're on and what they like about the guitars and some road stories and all that type of thing. And as well, Track 19, Long Distance Traveler, which is a personal COVID-19 isolation project for myself so that I can stay somewhat mentally and physically fit by taking on a project here on the property. Hope you'll check that out. So everything I'm going to show you in this series is how I attack things. It's not necessarily how you should attack things. You have to make that call based on your own situation, and but hopefully you'll pick up some useful tips through the process. At the end of today's video, I'll put up a few clips from my songs so you can see where I am in the writing, recording, mixing, and making visuals for YouTube, where I am in that process. So we're going to get right into it. So please hit that subscribe button, and today we're going to tackle doorways. So in most home recording situations, the door is one of those audio weak points. Typically you want to keep all of the sound that's on the other side of that door out of your recording room. You don't want your mics picking up kids and traffic and people walking through the house or whatever. As well, if you've got amplifiers and stuff cranked in here or drums or whatever, you probably want to protect everybody on the other side of that door from the noise you're making. So keep the outside noise out and the inside noise in. That's what we want to achieve by isolating the door. So just to let you know how good I've got this room. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it's very good. A while back, a buddy of mine, Mark, and myself were practicing to play a gig at White Point at their multi-function room, and we practiced several times a week for a month. And in here, we had a drum machine, synth, 2 guitar amplifiers, PA with our vocals, and we had everything running through the PA, and there was a fair amount of noise in here. It was a pretty decent level, and someone was successfully sleeping across the hallway, and that went on, like I say, for a month, and there was no issues. So that's how good this room is. So in this room, here's what I did for the doorway. I'm gonna get this out of the way. Okay, we're up here by the ceiling, and the doorway is right there. So what I did is I took a piece of 1 inch, I'm not sure if it's either MDF or plywood, I'm not sure. I think either will do. And this is about, I don't know, 10 inches, and this is about 14 inches or so, or more, I don't know. It's this big. So it's just a plate. And what I did is I took 4-inch number 10 screws, so pretty heavy duty, and I screwed them through this plate into the studs in the wall. Really anchored this sucker good. And then I took a very big hinge, like you would find like on a barn or something. You could get them at any hardware store pretty much. So it's a big industrial sized and grade hinge, door hinge. And then what I did is I took a piece of 1x4, so it's actually like 1x3.5 or something, and I bolted it to the hinge. So you've got the hinge bolted to the wall, and then you've got your flap on your hinge, and I bolted this piece of wood to it. And then I took about, I don't know, 5 or 6 really heavy duty pieces of material and blankets and stuff, and I draped them over the piece of wood. so they hang. So one thing is, this whole mechanism is up higher than the door. It goes, the piece of wood is long enough that it goes past the edge of the door, and it starts sort of before the door. It probably would have been better to bring it over a little further. And the material goes from the board and hangs all the way to the floor. In fact, there's too much, it's dragging on the floor. That's fine. So it's both absorbing the sound in the room, and it's keeping the sound that wants to come through the doorway or go out through the doorway, it's stopping all that. So I just backed the shot out there so you can see. So this piece of wood is on the hinge, and it just rolls out. And so behind it is the door. So I close the door, and then I just push this over, and then I just tuck the material right against the wall. It wants to poof out a bit because there's a lot of material there. That's cool. So it covers the entire doorway and door frame, and ideally a little bit beyond the door. And that creates a wonderful sound barrier for the weak point being the door. That's how I tackled the sound killing in this room. These are just little coverings that I got in Cuba. But all the other material is has a fair amount of density to it. And there's moving blankets and comforters and everything in there. And yeah, so like I say, we could be in here jamming with a full setup, somebody sleeping across the hallway. So that's how I tackled the doorway in this recording room, and it's worked out very well for me. Hopefully there's some piece of information in there that's useful to you and will help you going forward in your recording at home. So if this was all good for you and you want to throw a nickel in the tip jar, I'll make sure all the links are in the description. But you can also help by subscribing, liking, sharing, all that good stuff, and even adding a long distance traveler song to your playlist. Any comments or questions, put them in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Oh, almost forgot. Here's a couple chunks of some of my songs.
Hey, you way up in the clouds, I can see you coming around. Hey, you way up in the clouds, I can see you coming around. Let's take it home.
often asking for the keys to success, but that's hard to convey when you don't think like the rest. Thinking in measures, the words they must flow, prepares intensely and off to work he goes. Doesn't have hobbies, just lives in his craft, gets to go play and have some good laughs. And when he breaks into dance and he soars through the air, he's probably playing a bad guy, but we don't care.